This is the Porsche 911 997 GT3 RS 3.8 litre. A lot of people say this car is peak 911, and in this video we're going to find out if it's true. Let's start this video by talking about what makes this car so special, and it's this flat six engine, which is actually derived from the 911 GT1 Le Mans car. It's a Mezger flat six. Brilliant bulletproof engine. 3.8 litres in this particular car. The Gen 1 version of the 997 GT3 RS actually had a 3.6 litre engine, but here we are, slightly bigger capacity. The result is 450 horsepower at 7,900 RPM. Now that's 15 horsepower more than the similar engine makes in the GT3 model. Torque, that's 430 Newton meters. Same as you get in the GT3, but it comes in 1,000 RPM later at 6,750 RPM. So you really have to rev this engine to get the most out of it. Obviously it drives the rear wheels via a 6-speed manual gearbox. Top speed, 193 miles an hour. And 0 to 60 is supposed to be 4 seconds dead, which is 0.1 of a second quicker than the GT3. But we'll find out what it really does when I launch this car in a bit. The Gen 2 version of the GT3 RS went on sale in 2010. It cost from £109,000, which was £20,000 more than the GT3. This one's a little bit more though, because it has bucket seats, which are £3,000 more. Also, you've got carbon ceramic brakes. That's a £6,000 option, plus some floor mats, which cost £73. As a result, this particular car was £118,000. The value of it today is about £180,000. Oh yes, these have appreciated in value. Now, if you're thinking about buying a used car, you need to check out its history. So I've used Car Vertical to check out the history of this car. I want to make sure that it's all pack up before I drive it. And yes, the report is absolutely fine. And the mileage checks out as well. It's quite high mileage, 31,000 miles. That's because it's been used by Porsche's press fleet since it actually was launched, and they've kept it and they use it now for people like me to have some fun with. Now, if you are thinking about buying a used car, definitely check out the history, not only to make sure the car's not been stolen or it's got finance on it, but to also look out for crash damage. And with Car Vertical, you can actually check if a car's had crash damage and even see some photos of that damage if it's been uploaded. So check out this Lamborghini, right? This Lamborghini went on sale and it looked perfectly fine. But look, if I look through the history of this Lamborghini Gallardo, oh my God, look at the damage to that car. You would not have known actually when it went on sale that it had that damage in its past, but having seen these photos, there's no way I'd want to buy that. So make sure you check out Car Vertical. I'll put a link in my pinned comment and in my description, okay, with a discount code. Now, if you want to use that discount code at a later date, you just simply use it at carvertical.co.uk, and it's Watson10 for 10% off. Go check it out. Make sure your car's all fine. Here at the front, this car is clearly identifiable as a GT car because of this vent here in the front bumper. Now, the GT3 RS had an elongated splitter compared to the GT3. Also, the front track is wider by 26 millimeters. You can see you've got some slightly blistered wheel arches. Also, the front wheels are 10 millimeters wider, so that'll give you more front end grip. The wheels at the back are bigger still. They're 20 millimeters wider than on a GT3. Also, the rear track is 46 millimeters wider. In fact, this car uses the Carrera 4's body, so it's got that wide body stance. And then there's the aero package, this big wing. This produces 170 kilos of downforce at 186 miles an hour. So you won't get that much downforce on the road, obviously, unless you're in Germany or breaking the law. This particular car weighs in at 1,370 kilos, which is 25 kilos less than a GT3. Now, it's achieved that because it has the air conditioning delete. That saves you 20 kilos. Also, it doesn't have a stereo. That saves 6 kilos. Then there's the carbon ceramic brakes, which save you a further 20 kilos. Now, I know what you're thinking. When you add all that up, it comes to 46 kilos. Why is it only 25 kilos lighter than the GT3? Well, that's because this car has that wider body, which is heavier. Also, it has bigger wheels, and that offsets some of the weight savings. Other weight savings include a plexiglass rear screen, plus a lovely titanium exhaust system. Look at the lovely blue hue. I like hue, especially when it's blue. You want to hear it? Okay, let's hear it. The GT3 RS gets a lightened single mass flywheel. As a result, the engine just revs more freely. Have a listen to this, right? Oh. it really just spins up. So smooth and absolutely no rev hang. Plus it sounds absolutely epic. Thing is, the idle is a little bit lumpy though because of that light and flywheel. In fact, in the manual, they do warn you that this car is a little bit more hardcore than a standard Porsche. The GT3 RS has stiffer suspension than the normal GT3, plus uprated dampers. Also, the 6-speed manual gearbox has slightly shorter ratios than in the GT3 for sharper acceleration. As a result, the top speed is reduced slightly by a whole 1 mile an hour. Overall though, the gear ratios are still quite long when you compare them to other cars. For instance, in second gear at maximum RPM, it'll do 77 miles an hour, which means you can break the law on the motorway in the UK in second gear. Finally, unlike a standard 911, the GT models get a limited slip differential for added traction. Plus, there's active engine mounts too, which keep the engine more stable when you go around corners, so the inertia doesn't affect the handling balance. Here on the inside, the GT3 RS has a lovely thin-rimmed Alcantara steering wheel. It feels gorgeous. There's also GT3 dials. You've also got RS 3.8 litre badging on the kick plates, plus there's more Alcantara on the gear knob. There's Alcantara on the handbrake too. And look, you've got these little fabric handle pulls there for opening the door, which they save a bit of weight, but really they're just for show. I'll tell you what's a bit annoying though. This carbon fibre here, this trim has been damaged. Apparently this happened because some cameraman who was doing some photography for a magazine whipped their tripod out of the car and it caught on this, snagged it, and it kind of damaged it. Porsche hasn't replaced this. And the reason they haven't is because you just can't get this piece anymore. That's what happens when you have press cars. They get treated badly by members of the press. Oh, this car also has a roll cage, keeps the body nice and stiff. And it means that you can't take any rear passengers, not that you really can anyway in a 911. Okay, let's see what this GT3 RS is like to drive. First thing I'm going to do is lower the window because I'm just about to come to a nice wall here. So let's have a listen to this engine. Oh! What sound! What incredible throttle response as well! It's just instant. Yes, you do have to spin the engine to really get the most out of it. But the response is, oh, that's where it's good, right there. When you really get towards the top end, oh, it feels so glorious. This motorsport derived engine, it feels such a part of it. These bucket seats hold you so well. In fact, all the control weights, the way the steering feels, the gear shift, the brakes, the clutch, it all just feels right. It all feels motorsport. Whoa! Whoa! What absolute joy to drive. So 10 years old, 31,000 miles, driven hard by journalists every single one of those miles, yet it feels brand new. With these older generation 911s, the engine is a bit further back than in the very latest ones. They move the engine forward slightly. As a result, it does just feel a little bit more rear engine to drive. Oh, oh, the faster you go, the better it gets. The way it just deals with bumps is so good. Completely flat, completely stable, yet totally composed over bumps. It just works with the road. Oh, the steering is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, last thing for me to do, launch it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour using my specialist timing gear. Here goes. Oh, 4.68, and I went easy on it. I didn't sidestep the clutch, and it did spin up and the traction came in, but whoa, I can see why these are so blooming expensive now. You can take this on a track day and it's brilliant on the track, but also it's totally usable on the road. I could daily this. It's not too extreme. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So then, what do I think of the 997 Gen 2 GT3 RS 3.8 litre? Is it peak 911? Well, of course not. That's obviously my 996. No, seriously, I do think it's peak 911. Yes, the 4 litre is more desirable, but they're £400,000 now. These are, believe it or not, better value. So yes, I think this is peak 911 and I love it. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. And if you're thinking about buying a used car, then make sure you check out its history with Car Vertical. And if you use the link in the description on my pinned comment, you can get 10% off. Alternatively, just use the discount code Watson10. Anyway, click there to watch some more videos if you'd like. Oh, I like this. I want to keep it.